have as a CT when you're trying to retake middle.
I think something that may not bode well for Big already in this game is that the way they just found their first round was off the back of k1to running through a Molotov on Catwalk by himself. It wasn't really as much of a team effort as it was just a solo player making an excellent play. So that kind of success is hard to replicate if you're on Big, especially against a team of OG's caliber. Then again, I say that, and they do have players like Surson and Xantaras that can find openings like that into these rounds. It's just, will OG be able to punish if there's any more further solo aggressions in the future is the real question. Can they at least trade off of those kind of fights or make them 2v1s instead of 1v1s?
Surson looking for the long pick. Flashbang timing's good. Oh, the flick will not connect. He wants more though, going for the re-peek with that flashbang. So doesn't find anything. You saw that. 2-man, 3-man spray down coming through. k1to, Tizian, and Xantaras all falling. And, oh, that HE could connect. Yeah, beautiful stuff from tabseN. That's going to help out. Has to make a forward play here. MBK, he is feeling it right now. What a play around the side of the smoke. tabseN never expected it. MBK finding the small edges. And Valde finishes it off. And that's not a good way to follow up a round you've just won. They just got deleted towards that. They keep wanting to rush B, but MBK's not having it.
B is such a hard bomb site to take on this map. You have to maybe support it with more mid splits to B than the straight up B take, because if two people are playing B all the time and you're not conditioning them to maybe rotate a little more towards middle, you're exactly going to see what you saw that round. One person spamming, one person nading, and then the other guy spams, and then the other person nades.
Just so you know, the B players are like 9-2 and 15-1 or something. So just want to say, just want to point it out.
Keep going B.
It's
Just keep
happening
going
again.
B.
Oh, 2 players left here. They will actually find the trades into the side. Seems like they don't want to allow the B players to gain so much confidence, and they will quickly force things to a 2v2 retake for OG.
It's good utility for OG here. 2 fire bombs. Surson continuing. CT deep left though, and down he goes. Big looking for a desperate second round now. Refusing to be conditioned on this B bomb site. Oh man, too. He got the shot off faster, but didn't quite land it. And that will be the second round for Big, although there's plenty concern about consistency here with how strong the B bomb site's looking and how determined they are to keep going B.
That's a nice little move by Mantu. I like doing that as an opera. Just kind of elbow peek, try to bait a shot. Obviously, the opera's waiting for him to peek full, kind of lull him to sleep maybe just a little bit, and then pre-fire peek that corner. Mantu had the right idea, just didn't execute it.
Good challenge from MBK there. It is interesting because I do wonder if the meta will ever like shift, that the CTs stop smoking. I don't know if it's actually possible that it could, because what I'm trying to say is that it sucks for the CTs to have to smoke to cross.
You have to.
And
it will never change.
And the problem is that the Ts get, once that smoke goes down, they get the ability to, behind the cover of smoke, find really aggressive timings towards double doors and catwalk. And that's a huge advantage. And the CTs might still get tagged through the doors. So you have to challenge the doors every so often as the CTs. But I wonder if there's another approach that could possibly develop.
You want to know how long people have been smoking those help doors for?
I know, a long time, man.
Since Source. Since Source. It's not going to change because the double doors exist. The T-spawn has too much of a wide spot for them to shoot.
Right.
If you wanted to stop, you need to take it back to 1.6. The T's only had a small window of a shot from T-spawn, not a gigantic gazebo of space, you know? It's just, you got to change up T-spawn if you want people to stop smoking doors. That's it. That's the only way. It's the only way.
Props for gazebo.
it's a
Gazebo
nice
props, gazebo points.
Boomer meter, thank you. Showing my age right there. Source. That's 10 years. People have been smoking those doors.
Man, Source came out 15 years ago, by the way.
Yeah, well, I was trying to be, you know, like rounding it a little bit.
Why are you exposing him like that, Dan?
Well, I just because I thought it helped his point.
He's trying to hold on to
Yeah.
his youth, man. He's just walking to the Lazarus pit. You're pulling him back.
So yes, 15 years people are smoking indoors. I don't know if it's ever going to change.
All right, this is a bit of a mix-up here for OG. They double boost Cat, but they're both tagged down by Surson early on. He already... Oh, wow. What a nade from Tizzy actually to follow
Beautiful.
that up. Yeah, that's excellent stuff from Big. And OG trying to force the issue in a round. Feels like this is the first time they haven't played completely reactively, and it's not working out for them.
Dizzy needed that from long, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
bounced it from long, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
That's so sick.
Off the skybox, I think.
You can throw flashes there, but that is quite the frag. And Zatara's got places to be, but his bus pass has been taken away. And Ardian Spectre has been kicked off the bus as well. NBK and ESA remain 2 versus 4. Maybe there was a little potential there with the position they had, but that's come and gone now. And so has their money. So this is Big's entry into the game, having won this round. And you can see they understand the opportunities they have if they can eliminate all the weapons here. I think maybe Tizzy might be dueling with NBK. He's kind of stuck in lower tunnel now. And it seems the rest of Big will just chill out because their money's not spectacular either. They already have good advantage for the next round. They can capitalize on that when the time comes. Although NBK and ESA are the two who saved the rifles, who are both top fragging for OG. So maybe they play a default and just take them to beat.
So it is a recovery for Big. They've managed to get 4 rounds on the board, and with the possibility of getting many more. Of course, those 7, I think, as already mentioned, is a great half for the CT side that can often be so annoying. And we'll have Big here looking to try to keep things under control. The last round, OG had pistols, was quite dangerous. And this round is no different. Nice flashbang. That's going to take down Citizen. That's a gun there for ESA now. I think it was ESA that picked it up. Either way. Here comes the push. A Big want to control the situation, and they have the A site. Oh. That's an important Molotov.
Might be a bit of a blessing in disguise. Forces OG off the angle now they can save those weapons if they so choose. Probably can allow Alexi B to take that op into the next round. Doesn't look like anybody from the Big side is in a position to take him out here. NBK is still hanging out in this Cat position, looking for something.
He's feeling it, man. He's 17
Yeah.
for 4. He's like, any chance of the frag, I'll have it.
Yeah, I absolutely absolutely get it. Yeah, just keep himself hot. He feels like no one in the server can even touch him right now, but looks like Big won't even challenge him.
So Alexi B stealing that ult away is so huge. What a frag to get. That's going to be annoying if you're Surson. It's small plays like that with those pop flashes that make all the difference, and it's always sad when you see teams that aren't in that mindset on their pistol rounds to try stuff like that more often.
It's very sad, Dan. I agree.
I think both of these teams, Big and OG, take just the right level of initiative on those kind of eco rounds. Just make the opponent uncomfortable enough, whether it's a single flash play or Big have done some interesting plays, actually, double nading and pushing top mid on Mirage, just little things like that that always keep the opponent guessing. Don't let them just run whatever their game plan is.
Well, Citizen got the pick on A long at the beginning of the round. That kind of timing pick through the long doors fell back, and they're looking like they want to split B right now. Normally, in these kinds of situations, it's always going to be more favorable to go A, just because, as you guys can see on the minimap, this is pretty much what happens like 90% of the time when the CTs lose a player early on. They go into 2 on B, 1 on A site / car, and 1 in pit. So it's much easier to isolate the A players. But with that said, Big, they're looking. It's actually looking like they're going for that B play indeed. So we'll see how successful they can be against NBK and ESA. They've both been deadly so far.
Well, looks to be a bit of a fake, actually.
Oh, they're faking it.
Yeah, the bomb's still on short right now, and there's a caterpillar of players making their way towards that A bomb site. So Wonder if anybody will creep through that smoke in CT spawn. Xantares is threatening to do so. There's the flash, Man2 still scoped in, misses, and they're going to get a lot of map control now towards that A bomb site. We still have Valde in long, but they're losing the range. They've lost the range with the AWP, and I'm not sure that they'll look to throw good money after bad here, especially as the T's are already spread out. Xantares in CT spawn kind of compromises their options, and they may feel hunted now. Again, Big trying to just take all their money away as they look to potentially close out this half with a lead.
So I have a couple points here. Obviously, Big are going to win this round, but did they make their lives more complicated than it needed to be with the faking the B split there? Because it feels like if they're on catwalk and in a position to just set piece, it feels like that's actually stronger to just go for it as opposed to.
I think it's all part of the conditioning of Big's play style. They just want OG to keep guessing, keep him moving. And
That's a good point.
And a map like Dust 2, mid splits are very dangerous, and it usually causes CTs to over-rotate because, you know, there's a wall of smoke in CT spawn, and there's usually only 2 people playing towards that B-bomb site. So it's probably some kind of conditioning game plan, I think.
Even if it just moves a player out of that goose position on A and forces one into CT spawn as Big throughout those mid to B smokes, then that's a job done. That's just dislodging them, but didn't seem to really come into play in the previous round. That being said, I like how Eric brings up it could be a conditioning factor. The fact that now the next time Big throw mid to B smokes, they might hesitate around that, then throw cat smokes again and play a double fake off of it. There's a lot of options now that will make OG think this game plan for Big isn't quite as straightforward as they may have first assumed.
Citizen gets the opening pick again, this time to MBK towards B. Issa does trade back though, which is good, but he's on a FAMAS, so he doesn't have a lot of firepower to hold this site. He will fall out actually as the flashes come in, and you can see Xantares is looking for him, and Xantares will find him. But somehow Issa defends with the FAMAS, still keeping himself alive. And a 3 versus 4 here, there's almost, in fact, there's basically no post-plant utility at this point left in the hands of Big, so they've got to get it done off the shots, and it's exactly what's going to happen there. Another shot ringing in, and another one in favor of Big. It's up to AlexiV now. It's got that deagle out, just barely able to take down Tabson. But there goes the trade. 7-7, and Big are back in the game here. They actually might finish with a better score than OG, which is insane.
You know, I'll be honest, I think the scoreline's a little deceiving because OG having 7 rounds is pretty much the heroics of MBK on 2 important rounds where you got those 4 kills. One was on the pistol. That probably saved them about 3 rounds right there. And like on the first or second gun round, I think it was on the second gun round, where MBK should have died but killed 4 people towards A. And that's like, I don't know, that's probably 5 rounds right there that could have went in Big's favor, in my opinion.
This was 7-1 at one point. Big is making a monster comeback in this game, and it doesn't even feel like they're really sweating it. A lot of these rounds have been pretty clean cut for them, other than those ones that you mentioned from NBK, Eric. Those were a little hairy, but Valde, he's going to have to come up with some heroics of his own. But what a great angle. That is...
Is that boost?
I think he just jumped on the barrel.
Barrel.
Yeah.
Sick.
That is so smart from Tabson, who hasn't even had to come up as an individual thus far, but Man2 may do just that. He's able to find one, looking for more. Cannot find the second shot, but oh, this fight on ramp is so important, but he can't end up with the kill.
It has been a half of whiffs for him with the AWP, and coming into Dust 2 as the first map a little cold is a horrible experience, and that will certainly help Big take a lead at halftime. That is quite the comeback, but are 7 rounds on the CT side enough for OG? Find out after the break.
The first half between OG and Big had many looks, but it's safe to say I feel like Big really came out the better overall. It was a hot start for MBK, but characterized otherwise by a bunch of misses from Mantu, put OG in an uncomfortable position. We'll have to see if that's something that they can remedy here, as we have Citizen already going aggressive, but he'll get discovered here on this pistol. And trades will continue in the mid area, and in that madness, OG will take the initiative towards this long position, but Xantares denies it. Beautiful stuff from him, leaving just Alexi B against 4 players. It's not an easy task here for OG. They needed a good start, but it's not shaping up that way. It doesn't even look like he's going to get a bomb plant, which would be really useful.
But he has a Neo sticker on his gun, so I want to believe that he'll win this round.
Because of the Neo sticker?
Because of the Neo sticker.
Wouldn't it be more of a curse?
I don't know. We'll see.
Depends what Neo you get.
Exactly.
And what game you're even playing.
Hopefully it's the 1.6 version.
Oh, man.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's the wrong,
Wrong Neo.
Yeah. All right, Big continuing their streak of rounds here. They were down 7-1 in this game, and now they are up 9-7. They have won 8 straight.
Yeah, Big's been looked better just overall. The timings, the teamwork, just a little more crisper. It's just OG's individual skill actually pulled him out a lot of rounds that first half.
If Mantu was having a good game...
That's why I chose Big. That's why I chose Big, even though OG kept winning the rounds rather, but the way in which they're winning the rounds, I felt like Big were kind of playing better or were stronger.
Call them
even
the
though they
big
lost.
fundamentals, you know? You know what they're doing sometimes, but you can't stop it. This is too good of teamwork. You need better teamwork.
This could actually get a bit messy here, depending on if Citizen's able to do any damage here. He does get one connection, but this is a guaranteed short plant. This is an extremely common way to play this round. I would actually venture to say this is probably the most common way to play this round as a T side, but you can see that the CT is playing that retake style. It's actually going to be 2 kills going the way of OG there, and I actually think that CT should try to challenge this more so than playing retake. I think that you can, with a one well-placed incendiary on a round like this, it kind of really wrecks the T side. A player in Goose, for example, can just win these rounds outright.
Yeah. Depends on how you want to look at it, really. If you want them to defuse the bomb, or if you want them to, you know, have the bomb down, but you guaranteed more lives as the CT, or do you challenge them, preventing them having the bomb down, but you have more of a risk of getting picked off, or something like that. Really depends on your setup and preference. But OG taking the more conservative side, let them plant, and now OG has a nice amount of money to work with for these next couple rounds, or 1 round.
Oh, look at the position, though, of... Well, we'll get to that in just a moment.
Oh,
Good
nice.
nade. That's an excellent nade from Tapson. The spray comes out, though, and they're not able to find anything.
Ooh.
Just 1 kill, actually, on the side of Big there. And now OG have full long control. This is going to shift a fast rotation out of Big. They had a player in lower at the beginning of this round, but now he's activated. Keto wants to get that MP9 involved towards middle. He's putting so much pressure on NBK here, and he actually seemingly secured the cap position by himself from lower B tunnels. That's a interesting look. And now OG recognize that the space has been taken away from them. There's players on that A site already. There's a player on Catwalk, and they're rethinking things here. They still have a minute to play with, so time is on their side.
Oh, so cool that Keto fell back just in case. So he could catch MBK off guard if he goes back down the stairs again. It was awkward for him from start to finish with the MP9. Not really a duel he wanted to take. And NBK's made his way towards Xbox, and down the stairs again goes Keto, as you can see on the radar, but he might miss him as he goes up. Oh, he's seen his head, but again, that's not a reliable duel with the MP9, but he can raise the alarm to his teammate. He's kind of stuck in a goose position now, with Long being taken, but Citizen, of course, delivers a kill regardless, overperforming in a really bad positional situation. Trying to buy time now, got a flash from his teammate, won't work though. Keto's picked up the AK-47, so he has a chance, but he will rotate his position all the way to Long, it seems. And then 1 versus 2.
This is really smart. He knows that for 7 seconds they can't plant, then they have to plant us another 3.5 seconds, so he gets all this time to rotate, but there's someone waiting for him! Oh, he annihilates Mantu, takes his head right off with that AK, and now it's just next bullet wins effectively. Here we'll see if LXCB can find that headshot or if k1to is going to be able to figure out his position in time. Oh, there it is, that car providing the cover that's so necessary, the smoke for additional cover to make his way across to defuse this bomb, create that pressure. It's a lot of time to play with here for k1to. He's going to try to bait out a jump here from AlexiB. AlexiB not having it though. AlexiB playing this very smart. It's wasting a lot of time for k1to. There comes the jump down. Oh, AlexiB! So intelligent from him. He is the IGL of OG for a reason.
But Big found the defuse.
God damn, that was so close. I didn't even realize.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Yeah, Big got the round. To win a round in a 3v5 situation, that's a tough pill to swallow on the OG side. And AlexiB played it so well, and he just couldn't find that first jumping kill. Just barely gave him enough time to defuse.
I have no sympathy for jump kills. Good.
Yeah, he should. Honestly, yeah.
Good.
If you're
That's how you play it like that.
a classicist, you would not be a fan of the jumping kill from AlexiB, but it works from time to time in this game.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it how it is now, because now some of the time it will be accurate, whereas before it was just like, bro. With the scout, with everything, it was just
It was
a little stupid. And it's cool to do jumping stuff and have hype and stuff, but
Yeah.
but when you can reliably do jumping stuff, it's Call of Duty.
It's a different game.
Great point, James.
Yeah, it's an arcade game as opposed to
Real life. This is a real shooter with real life physics. Get shot in the head and you're just walking around still.
OG looking like they might want to get this B split on the go. And took Catwalk away and everything. But little do they know, OG, or rather, sorry, Big, have 3 towards B. So this is actually going to play quite nicely into Big setup. We'll see if OG can actually break this. There's the lineup, and that's a lot of damage done already from just one shot. k1to is quite dangerous, just going to stay alive for as long as possible, taking pot shots as and when he can. The smoke is down in the tunnel here, which allows the situation to get reset for the CTs. This is a huge problem. k1to, can he fight it? Can't fight it, still can't fight it. Doesn't have to rush this one, as his teammates are doing a great job for the support, and just easy stuff here. Look at how OG have been contained completely in the tons.
Yeah, Big have perfect information at this point. Tizian on the big flank, and all right, well, Big will win the round off of time. Oh, Tapson pushing forward. Oh, that's going to really hurt the money of OG there.
Lord.
Man,
Nice.
we were just on the edge of our seats that entire time, hoping that k1to would shoot one collateral.
Yeah, I needed to see it. I needed to see like 3 die at once, man. It was just,
The conservative approach, though, does work out for Big in that round. They're able to stop OG in their tracks. They had him cornered from every single angle, and I mean, we know what was behind the smoke, but k1to, he plays it safe. He waits for the players to come out, and he gets the earned kills, the safe kills. Because how bad would it look if he shoots one shot, and that moment is when they all pop through the smoke, take him out? He wants to play it smart. I can't blame him.
Yeah, his teammates are doing such a good job and like supporting him there as well. Yeah, I think he felt no urgency really after he dropped his smoke to keep himself alive. And it was kind of crazy that OG couldn't find the moment to get out there, which is a shame. But at the same time, Big stacked 3 towards B that round. So I don't know what kind of clairvoyance is going on over the Big side of things, but that was the perfect round to stack 3B.
who is Claire?
Clairvoyance.
Nice nade. Chunked Validate to 14 HP. Must have hit him on the noggin.
NBK
Sound
heard
cues. He's given NBK an opportunity to try and take him out. It's a pretty good job from NBK. It's so close to finishing him off. 5 HP. Really got to be careful about backing off like that when you're so close to a corner. Great awareness from NBK, but he was not rewarded. But it still could come into play later. They know that player is super low, so they may target him with these mostly crap weapons.
Looks like they will. They make their way up Catwalk now. Surson still at that ramp position with just 5 HP. He has to be so quick with these shots, or at least get some nice support, but does look like the rotations will come out. Tapson is already there to help his buddy, and he's moving onto the ramp himself. Surson will play more towards the car position. The hit does begin here, and it's looking pretty good for Big. They're stopping this all in its tracks. Excellent utility. And it doesn't look like there's a great chance for any sort of bomb plan unless Issa can find something out of absolutely nothing. But he won't be able to get that opportunity, at least at ramp. He'll look towards mid now, and Big are just cleaning this one up. Okay, 1 kill there for Alexi B. That's probably not the result they were looking for, but they'll take it.
Seems like smooth sailing for Big here. They haven't lost a round this half yet, and that would mean that they have won
12 in a row.
5 in this half straight, and yeah, 12 in a row. Meaning that they've lost only 1 round of the last 14 rounds, 13 rounds even. That's not good. That's not good if you're OG. Alexi B might try to get a little bit funky here. Is he going to make a play through the smoke? He could do that with a pop flash that a teammate could provide from top mid. It's quite a common pop flash that's thrown in the defaults to clear out these close positions. There it is.
Manty's got no flash though. Oh.
Don't know where it came from, but there it was.
There's a console command. The cheats are on. Minute 15 for OG, who've taken some position towards short. Issa will go fishing. No spray behind that Molotov. And Keto will just hold on to his smoke grenades. Almost got baited there. MBK again trying to catch Searson out of position, but this time Searson will leave with all his health. 1 minute now. And we got Tizian getting closer to those long doors, where Valde's just been sitting, biding his time. But it's getting close to time for OG to make a play here.
Yeah, that play from MBK looked quite desperate. Trying to just chase a frag like that. Come back to that point here, see if they can deal with Tizian. He's in the corner, gets the first. It gets a dink on the second player, and given that it's a 4 versus 3 in favor of Big, they're looking pretty solid right now. Citizen with a good connection towards Catwalk will keep the effort alive on this A side. Jumping orb shot attempted. Not going to work out for him though. Flashbangs to delay these T's as the rotation comes through, and they're going to line up for Citizen. Cinematic stuff there. Quad kill for him.
James.
See you on YouTube, boys.
Nice stuff coming from Big. And Big's looking pretty unstoppable right now. Like,
yes.
literally unstoppable. Nothing's working for OG. It's not even close.
Yeah, you could see the desperation play attempt coming out from NBK towards Catwalk. That actually worked for Keto in the previous half, and it kicked off this run for Big, more or less. But OG just couldn't make it happen.
Where's that go? Is that just a flashbang? He's holding flash?
Yeah, fast B play. This is so desperate here for OG. It feels like Big have been ready for everything so far this half, and here comes another quick push onto the B side. The AWP is doing a good job. Keto gets the first one. The chain flashes are certainly making things difficult, but every single kill going the way of Big, except one right at the end from Alexi B. But Big are not to be trifled with on the B side, the A side, anywhere on the map right now. You cannot test them at all.
This is the run. Dust 2 done quick. Well, kind of.
If they close this out...
14 rounds in a row, man.
Yeah. If they close it out with 15 straight, that would be insane going into map 2.
Yeah.
The level of confidence that Big will have on Inferno is just... You can't mess with it. And that's a good start here to make that happen. Long play comes out, and okay, all right. Valde able to take down one. Good nade damage. And, oh, man, Surson just picking him apart from Catwalk as well. This Big play is just so one-dimensional now. It's all the info is known for the Big side. It's just Alexi B in the 1v4 trying to find something, but it's not looking good for him. He is able to find a single kill, but Keto is quick to trade him in. Big with 15 rounds straight to close this map out.
Wow.
Yikes. That is such a performance from them. 1-0 in this series. OG started to run out of ideas, and it's, I don't know how to, like, where do we even begin the discussion on this one? But Big have to be feeling it right now. It looked like they were starting off cold, but it's, I don't know where the team went for OG, but they've got to find something here. We'll have to discuss this one more and really get into the nitty-gritty of Dust 2 after the break. Well, that was a struggle, a real struggle for OG. 15 rounds in a row from Big to win that one, and they lost only one round in, what, 17, 16 rounds or something like that. It was a really insane run. And after this, we were like, holy crap, MBK is feeling it. And then this happened, and I was like, hang on, Manti looks a little bit sluggish. And then we were hoping that it wouldn't turn out badly for OG, but it really did. And, you know, Manti was whiffing quite a lot of shots, and as the A anchor with the AWP, in the kinds of positions he was in, it's not really a spot at this level where you're able to miss shots and have your team still be positioned well to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with Big, with pretty much the first 6, 7 rounds where they look cold, they look a bit off, but what didn't look off for Team Big was their teamwork, their timing, how they're taking the bomb sites were all pretty good. It's just OG was literally above and beyond on pistol round MBK, above and beyond that first B hit from Team Big, and also above and beyond when Big hit A and MBK somehow killed 3 people from that CT spawn angle. That stuff normally does not happen at all, and just the way that Big was playing, it looked like they could have won, 16-4. just by the.
Yeah, it felt like they had Montu out of his comfort zone very quickly in this game. Like you said, Dan, he started a little bit sluggish, and it seems like when we've watched OG, Montu has had free reign to do what he likes, and he gets so many opportunities to find multiple shots. Big are so skilled right now that you don't have those opportunities. If you miss that first shot, you're dead. Keto was swinging out wide on Catwalk, and Montu, kind of half blind, kind of recovering, has a sliver of an opportunity, but as soon as he misses that shot, Keto just deletes him from the server. Big are on fire right now. Big are looking like they're on another level, that they're ready to close this out in 2 maps. The individual skill popping off from all of their players right now is at such a high level compared to OG, who had just one player who looked solid in NBK.
Well, going into Inferno, man, it's going to be tough for OG. It is OG's. It's a map that they always pick. It feels like that there's such a comfort choice for OG. But we've also seen very up and down results from OG on this map. I think that said, actually, I think the only map where I saw them get really crushed on Inferno recently was actually by Godsent, who played this really sick match. However, the last time we saw Big and OG play, OG did win 2-0, but right now it's not looking like they're in good enough form to do that. However, the reset from map to map is a real thing, and so going into this second map, what do OG need to do to get their heads in the game here?
I think the first thing was hit the first couple of their shots. I mean, we saw it for the first 6 rounds that, you know, they were hit some things, but it still looked a little off. They look like they're sluggish, slow, maybe not warmed up. I think that's literally the first step, because to out-time, to out-anti-threat a team like Big, that's too much to ask for. You have to maybe anti-threat some rounds, but other than that, you have to rely on your own kind of teamwork and hitting your shots, really.
I think OG need to trust their fearless leader in Alexi B. When OG is playing on the same wavelength, when they're all clicking and everything is working for their team, you can see that they have a lot of they're so sure about the play that they're making. They always feel like they know they have good information, they are making a good read on the situation, and they're able to hit the bomb site that's usually a little bit weaker based off of the rotations they pulled or the picks that happened earlier in the round. And Alexi B has done an excellent job at this tournament at being a great mid-round in-game leader. He's going to have to get the juices flowing a little bit. The problem is that Big are so hot right now, they might not give him the space to do such a thing. In the chaos of the situations, Alexi B is going to have to come up with the answers much quicker than he's used to, because Big right now, they look relentless.
I am a bit worried for Big, for OG on their CT side. What do you feel like the hope is, James, for OG here to try to make a recovery?
Well, I think Dust 2 was the worst of it for OG, because Big's stats are very, very strong. That was their 26th map of Dust 2, I think, and their win rate's about 80%, which is huge. And I think that's probably the worst it's going to be for them. I mean, it could hardly be worse, in fairness. Obviously, there were some performance issues there with Mantu missing a lot of shots, but I think that their best maps are ahead of them in this series, and that's definitely a positive you can look at. It's always about, you know, in part about that sports psychology, and I think the worst is behind them. So that's certainly promising. I think that on paper, at least, Inferno is going to be a lot more competitive. Again, Big are in, I feel like, for their brand, like career best form. But that doesn't mean that they're infallible, and I think OG can just forget about that last map. You know, it was on paper Big should win it. They did. Let's just focus on the rest of the maps.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Mantu is going to be able to get into the game here in some regard or another. It is one of those things too where, as a player, it can be difficult if you have a bad start. Like this is why we talk about experience, because there are a lot of players that have so much experience playing at the top level that they've had that moment where they've had an off game and they're able to recover because they understand they've had that experience once. They've created protocols to deal with it, and they can move on flawlessly. And this is something that, for example, when I had that podcast with Ali, she was talking to me specifically about how he does that. And that's something that is really important to be able to do. Is Mantu experienced enough to be able to really just completely forget about that map, work within his where he's at right now, and then build from it? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be capable of doing that on the T side of Inferno, because this is OG's map pick coming up. It's hard to get that op involved already. Maybe if OG paved the way for him in a round, they roll out the red carpet onto a B bomb site or something like that. 3v3 situation, just slot that Opper at new box or something. That's a way that you can pop off. That's a way that it's so hard for Big to take him out of that position if they want to retake that B site. But that's a big if. That's a big if that they can even get on that bomb site to begin with. Big have some great approaches to getting banana control. Tapsin likes to throw a smoke that's kind of halfway down banana, and then they throw a smoke in front of it, then they hold retake nades. Big have great procedures on Inferno, so it's not easy to get an op just involved. You can't just sprint up banana to pull some crazy highlight off against this team. It's so hard because Big, this is a map that they're very well versed in too. This isn't going to be as I think lopsided as maybe the first map in either respect.
There's just so many questions in this one. You know, Eric, for you, where do you see like Big actually, like if Big are gonna fail, if there's like a failing point somewhere that allows OG into the game as opposed to OG is playing really well, like what does that look like, do you think, in this matchup?
I think if they let OG get too much comfort on their CT side, if they let them take over the mid or take over the banana too much, I think that's when OG is going to sneak on by. But as you saw in Dust 2, Big looks like they are on point in every single choke point that they take. They have people lined up for pop flashes. You have the smokes, you have the molotovs, you have the baits. It looks so good for Big, and if OG wants to win, Big has to kind of beat themselves, not OG beat them.
Well, here we go. It is map 2 between Big and OG. OG unable to replicate past performances against Big. They got crushed on Dust 2, but it is a new map. It's a new day. We'll see if on the T side they can find some success, at least in the opener. That is this T side. And Issa will find that headshot, which will put Big on the back foot, but they may want to take initiative here. They're still out there looking for those duels, and OG are quite happy with that.
Good angle held by Xantares, but will he be ready for the headshots? He's going to slip away. Actually, Issa, I don't know. Going to miss each other. That's quite an angle from Tizian, and it's not a good one. All that timing is super weird, though. You can't be expecting that. That's a disaster. That's a complete disaster on the entire A bomb site for Big, and it's just unfortunate timing, which led to holding a pixel angle to the left of Apps when they thought the right was clear because Xantares just left it, just missed each other, ships in the night and all that, and that leaves a 5 versus 1 where they have sent scouts. They sent the probes out to uncover the darkness and see if the area is clear, and once they find that out, they'll rotate all but one.
Yeah, just Keto now, 1v5. It's a dire situation, and it'd be nice if he, at this point, could just find a couple of kills, keep that armor intact so that he has an easy buy into the next round. We challenge here, lost that armor, and he's able to find 1 kill off the situation, but it was likely never really going to be going his way. But that's the start that OG needed in this game. NBK continuing his performance from the previous map. Issa and Valde, that actually feels pretty representative of who popped off on the last map in general for OG.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. It's perfect. That's what you want to see. If you're OG, if you're rooting for that comeback into this series, you want that third map, you want that Mirage. This is how things need to go for OG. That said, it's a good HE. Anticipating Citizen's aggression, one way or another. But yeah, that said, OG have to convert this round. The force buys, we know the force buys are really difficult to deal with, especially on Inferno, and they are gaining good ground here towards the site. It looks like they're kind of committed into this B push. They do have a lurk on the other side of the map, but they want to force the issue here. MBK's the one to get the opening pick, but Keto's causing problems. He's got that Deagle playing for the back of the site, but he will be taken down. 3 versus 3. This is definitely not a done and dusted round just yet.
Alexi B and Mantu are very vulnerable at the moment. They have targets on their backs. Just one meat shot and they are going to be on a plate. Issa will try to hold things down from Banana. Keeps all his health, which really changes things. Deagle and a scout and a refreshed smoke, a deep one. Should even make it hard to really do anything here. And Big will fall back. Xantares is trying to hold on to his Kevlar and Deagle. And Citizen with the scout. These two could do plenty, a little more showing presence before they fall away. And OG will do the same. It could have been a lot hairier for them, but they're able to escape unscathed enough to not be too bothered. On to the next one.
Next round, now.
You just can't count Big out if Xantares has a deagle. So, should be a clean round against most teams, but we've seen what this guy's able to do. And until he's stopped, you have to sweat just a little bit for OG. But this may be a round that they can loosen up a little bit in terms of just getting a couple players involved, making sure that Montu can get off to a good start. That is something that I'm sure is a priority for OG here. Making sure that their star Opper, can get himself going in this game. If he wasn't able to hit that mental reset button on his own, this is an excellent round to help him out.
Certainly is. Searson, with that scout still, offering a dangerous presence in the rounds. Never know which corner he's going to be lurking around. Looking for the quick jiggle peeks. And then boom, you lost 80 health. But OG are taking things slowly. They know they have to convert this round, and they need to do so as cleanly as possible. They lost quite a few players in the previous one. Trying to force out the utility if there's any remaining on the CT side. We can obviously see that there is none. And going for the wrap around arch and long. This is a classic foolproof way to take the A site. But this is that problem I was talking about. It's going to be Issa that gets tagged, but everyone else is fine. And it's looking really good here. 5 versus 3. CTs are locked out of the site now. And again, if OG survive with the 5 players, they've done the job they needed to do here.
Don't forget to reload.
It's all fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, it was a little hairy there in the apartments, but clean 5-0, or 5 players alive, that is, on the side of OG. Tech pause, though, coming out. Looks like there's a disconnect from Searson. So we'll wait for him to return.
Classic restart of the game. You know, maybe 0-4, 0-3. You can't feel bad, you just rejoin the game. Get that refresh, renewal.
Is that what you do?
Sometimes.
I have done.
I start, if I'm 0-7, I'm hitting retry. If I'm 0-7, I'm hitting retry.
Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should start doing that. Let's introduce more ticks into my game. It's like the big QQ.
And then people like,
QQ with a caps lock.
Did he come back with cheats? What happened? What's
Yeah,
going on?
It always
that retrying console.
it's the mental break, perhaps, that the other team just thinks, oh, what's he doing now?
What's he up to?
Yeah.
I remember actually Jason last show match, or one show match, he bound my mouse 1 to kill. Unfortunately for him, he bound loads of my keys to kill, but my config is read only, so I just executed it and it was fine. But binding like a mouse 2 to retry or something would be pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like he was more subtle with it.
Mouse
like a
wheel
key
out.
that you'd only use, like your Molotov bind. If you could figure out what that was, then there's no way that you would have noticed. Because unless you're throwing Molotovs in warm-up.
I think James is the type of guy to throw Molotovs in warm-up.
Maybe. There's a small risk.
No. I don't. I just stand AFK and warm up unless I'm getting repeatedly shot, and then I'll, deal with that.
Assert your
Or
dominance.
practice a grenade. If I'm on stream, I'll demonstrate some kind of grenade or something.
Man,
Feeling generous.
So Jason basically overplayed his hand massively. That's unfortunate. That would have been so good.
Well, if my config wasn't read only, I might have caught 1, but he did like 5 different keys.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So the last time these two teams played, it was actually the same veto, and Big won on Dust 2, and then lost Inferno and then Mirage for OG to win the series 2-1. And OG are putting that into play right now, or at least they're attempting it. See if Big face the same fate. Utility, down banana. Balde will dodge it. And it doesn't look like Big are actually too interested in contesting this position. It'll still bait out utility from OG. They have to do their due diligence in regards to this position, where frequently players will be contesting from sandbags in the corner. Big here seem to have settled in. Now it looks like they'll try to find some other map control, likely towards bracket, to just push back the big side, keep them honest. Force them to perhaps overextend at some point in this round.
One minute on the clock. We still have 2 smokes for Big on Keto and Xantares. One towards B, one towards A. 45 seconds on the clock for OG. You still have pretty reasonable map control. There's no info for Big towards top mid. Now, Sisson is towards long, so I can't expect him to re-peak top mid again. When you've got a sniper short at this range, then they may go for a short play. But there's a big execute from OG towards the A bomb site, but there's no one actually behind it. There's a Molotov short. You can see him just creeping in. Perhaps still going to find something in the smoke. Bombs on the floor as well. That's going to allow some time for rotation, especially with that Molotov. They're kind of stuck here. 15 seconds to clear the site and try to plant a bomb. This execute doesn't look like it's going far. East is already trying to save, getting taken out towards top mid. Then it's a complete execution in the pool. Big, a 500 HP round for them. They don't take a single point of damage.
That's impressive. That's actually absolutely impressive not to take 1 point of damage.
That's rare to see on a full gun round.
Full gun round. Oof. That's a great hold, though, by Big. The counter utility from Big just really delayed OG so much that they were forced to make a move with like 15 seconds left.
So 3-1 now, as Big have managed to find their way onto the scoreboard. OG would do well to make sure that Big don't find any momentum. And look at this passive approach from Big here. They may be thinking about a retake setup on this position. That's the smoke that Alex was talking about previously. And so they have their own spin on the retake setup with a deeper smoke that goes towards the logs. And you can see LXCB can actually see over this smoke, so maybe it's a little bit too deep, actually. And this is an important move here from OG. They challenge that smoke. And, you know, one of the points of doing it like this for Big is to hold on to more utility. And at the minute mark, we actually see that they have a lot of... They still have 4 smokes left. So that's actually huge for Big to have so many smokes at this portion of the round. They just tossed 3 immediately, though, as I said that, I think. Yeah, apartments, banana, and long.
Oh, looks like it'll be an R-trap strat coming out from OG, but they're actually able to find a pick early on towards that short position. It just leaves Tizian in Graveyard now, and oh, he's getting walled by Montu. An excellent way to get that op involved. Talked about how difficult it can be on the T side to find any success with that weapon, especially when pushing into a bomb site, but Montu makes it work. Actually offers up an opportunity for OG that otherwise wouldn't be there. And it looks like a pretty clean A take coming out from OG, all things considered.
I feel like this round from OG suggests to Big that Big need to play a little bit more aggressively, either for banana or for top mid, just because the way that OG entered the bomb site there was really well done, actually, in terms of how they entry different angles, how they took angles from apartments first, and then denied the cross shots as they go across from porch into the site and so on. Just it was a very good coordination, pacing, timing, just all of it was very good. So usually if a team's that effective, you want to either stop them from getting there, or by taking fights earlier in the round, or you change your site setups. So I don't know which one it is for Big.
I feel like Big will likely opt for the 1-4 now. Try to take that early banana control. Doesn't even need to be necessarily with 3 players. They've been finding good space there early on with just their light set of utility. Maybe just post up Surson with the op later on in the round, but they need to harden up that A defense, as you mentioned. They need to find some kind of way.
Surson's actually gone glass cannon here as well, and he's got no utility except a single flash. It's worth bearing in mind. It may encourage Big to be more active on one part of the map.
Oh wow, they are very active towards alt mid right now.
Oh yeah, they've taken full control. And they're going to rotate somebody to assist the B push, as they know it has to be B now, so they can contain OG on banana. until the point at which they force the issue into the site. This is really tough as well because if Big know all the lineups for their utility, they can actually get some nasty nades on OG here as they look to try to push in, but it's actually very labored.
So trying to make a play through the smoke, and he'll be successful. Lots of variants that he had. Tizian coming in from the back and putting a grenade out just as Issa emerges from the smoke. Can't have had good information with all those smokes up, but this is turning around into a 2-on-2. Unbelievable. Big had so many players on this B bomb site. The flank being taken out now changes a lot. The bomb can potentially get planted if Xantares will be covered by Issa just about. That was a close one. And Searson versus 2. Now he has a good idea of where both players are. Thank you to that. Actually, no, they knew Issa was there anyway. So he needs to try and find the first player, but surely the second kill is guaranteed, not even required, as Valde will do the job. I can't believe they lost that round, Big.
Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe that OG should go to Banana more often.
Yeah, Tizian has to be kicking himself after being on the flank and pulling out a nade there. That could have been a huge win condition for Big, but OG still able to pull that one off, and man, that was looking dire. Big had all of the information, and they are definitely a little bit upset with themselves, the fact that they weren't able to convert that.
Yeah, it's going to be a costly round. The Big cannot get a full buy out of this round, so it'll be up to them to do maybe either a force buy or just a half buy with pistols. It looks like they're going to do a light half buy with some nades, utilities, a couple deagles. Oh, MP9, why not throw that in there? You got the money.
So this is the start that OG certainly needed. And I feel like this really helps to wipe away some of the issues of the last map. That said, you know, Mantu's role with the AWP will be really critical once they switch on to the second half. So I'll be curious to see if he's able to have a better performance as well. Nice early pick there from Tizian. A forward setup here from Big is going to make life a little bit complicated for OG. They have the majority of the push towards this B side. They really have to just commit this in hard. They're at a 3 versus 5. Guns will be collected towards second middle. And okay, that's good here for Valde and OG. They've got the bomb side under control. The question is for Big. Do they want to try to ship it in 4 versus 3 with what they have, or do they want to save some of these guns and armor into the next round? Okay. I think they're going to go for it now.
Yeah. Excellent shot there. But now 2v4 situation. Valde and Alexi B on the bomb site. They need to try to lock it down, but Searson pushes through the smoke with perfect timing to find one. It forces Alexi B to push on forward, but it's still a one-on-one situation. Searson does have the op. Oh, and he's just sticking it. The 10-second defuse, looking for something here. Alexi B knows he has to peek eventually, and he will find the kill there and recovers the op as well. But that was a very expensive round for OG.
Yeah, that's so perfect because OG's economy. Yeah. What James was about to say.
Yeah, they can do that.
Storm? Is a storm coming? Is that what you said?
Lucky for them, they're on the T side. Xantares has been a slow start for him. He's got all of 1 kill in these 7 rounds that have come and gone so far. It's just been a rough across the board, really. k1to is the only standout. Everybody else is just taking it in the face for Big. They'll start with 3 players towards Banana Big, so they will have to take in mind some aggression from tabseN, but Valde will be able to kill him despite the flashbang. So that's some early aggression that's failed for them, and now they've got a 4 versus 5 and a lot of time for OG to try and capitalize on this. So I do wonder if a Searson or such will try to make an aggressive play somewhere to make up for this early lost man. 4 and 4, should I say.
So one of these really typical situations on Inferno. 2 on Banana, 2 on Pits. Actually, well, we've got Searson on Porch looking for an aggressive shot before falling back to the sites. And now it's a more typical setup, but with that information, we do get the rotation coming out of Xantares to assist the safe site. So OG will make their way forward. They're taking a lot of damage here. Tizian takes down MBK as well, and this is not looking good here for OG. They have to consider what their plan is right now, because getting the bomb down seems rather unrealistic. Unable to get out of the choke points. Manty's all that remains here with this AWP. He's looking to try to keep it out of the hands of the CTs. I think if he dropped this AWP to them, they would certainly run that double AWP setup, get k1to on the second one. So it's imperative that Manty find a way not to give up this AWP. 20 seconds to survive. And there is one person hunting him. Nice shot though from Manty onto k1to. And he'll be good to go now. So big pick up a second rounds.
Big have felt like the team that have been winning the info wars throughout most of these rounds. It's surprising that they haven't converted more off of it, but it also feels like they're finding their stride now. That was a really clean hold from the players on that A bomb site. They shut OG completely out of that round, and OG, they've had an approach that has placed a lot of players with no lurk in many of these situations thus far. There hasn't really been too many contingency plans beyond the initial hit. It's been a little bit one-dimensional in terms of how they're setting up for the play itself. It's rarely any kind of split. It's mostly just every player funneling into a choke point. And I'm curious if Big are recognizing that just yet, or will OG change it up regardless. But oh, flash off of the angle. Surson, though, pushing on forward. There's another flash, though, and Valde's able to take his life. That is excellent procedures from OG. And oh, another flash to get Valde on forward. It's a shame he wasn't able to dodge it, as he likely could have found another kill approaching this B site. tabseN, though, lies in wait now with k1to.
Yeah, but there's still 3 players for OG towards the A-bomb site, and they're threatening to pull a Tizian away as well. Now k1to's been taken out. They're really selling this B play. That's going to leave XANTARES with it all to do from an elevated position, with a tight channel no less, where he could get double peaked. Well, they've made their play, OG. They might consider rotating here. Tizian has also been lost now, which only leaves XANTARES. Anissa will spot him. Bombs on the way, but it won't be required. OG will just eliminate them one by one. One by one. Take a ticket. Thank you for coming. Please leave. Exits on your left.
That was a 5 for 0 from OG. None of the players have died. And actually at the banana spot was really good flashbang work from OG. They didn't peek off the first or second flashbang. They peeked off that third one, which is the one that caught Surson in that forward position. So it's a really good read from OG to bait Big on the second and third flashbang.
Okay. Montu may be heating up, and that's something you don't want to see if you're Big. That was a very quick shot. Okay. Fighting back, though, is Tizian to find NBK. He's able to recover the gun. Issa is right here, though, and he's able to stop him from getting away. Oh, and that Molly will press that player on forward. And there's so much damage being inflicted from a Molly to take down Surson. And XANTARES with the AK towards A. Looks like OG will be avoiding him as they take the matter towards B. Still a lurk, though. Towards bracket, and wow. Okay.
He's looking for that.
Yeah, he was ready.
Yeah. You have to be in that spot. There's a smoking right middle. You got to really focus and look who's on top of that that pallet. I mean, 8-2, looking really good for OG. Couple rounds where when Big won looked also really good, but OG's a step ahead, adjusting, making these micro adjustments. And so far, as you said, it's pretty much the same look from OG for the most part. It's kind of defaulting, trying to find info, which isn't a bad thing on a map like of Inferno. Usually it's a couple key choke points which dictate a lot of the offense on this map, and Banana being one of those. OG's just being diligent on making sure that Big cannot take it for free.
OG looking to swell the A-bomb site now with immense numbers. Different looks. XANTARES forced away, alone on short. There's a nice one taken out of the air by searsON. Some safe vision shooting. Does he realize another one's gone past? Maybe not. He's been taken out and they've lost position. XANTARES now in a lot of trouble. He's got help from the pit though. He's tagging, and Valde's been finished off. The bomb still in the hands of OG though, making it towards the site, but may not survive as XANTARES executes player after player with some help from Tizian. And that's just the third round on the board for Big on their CT side.
Yeah, in order for Big to win that round, they had to stack that A bomb site. OG just kind of just ran right into it. So it was almost of a gamble stack because OG pushed back Banana. There's no way Big would have known if they're there or not. But that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to get a little lucky. You got to gamble stack. If nothing's working out for you, you got to be a little random.
Well, I feel like after the first map, we have to be cautious of our expectations. I feel like, Big just suddenly turned everything around on the map 1. So, it could very well be the case that we'll get something like that coming into play as they make their adjustments into this one. But it is promising for those people who want to see a third map. This is like a promising look so far for OG. This is also, it reminds me of the last Inferno these two teams played. Like, OG able to find a lot of value so far out of some of these hits, and Fast into Banana and instantly taking down tabseN. Keto with the AWP. It's so hard to shoot over the flames, and he'll whiff that one, and this seems like an auto win at this point. You instantly delete those Banana players and it's over, especially with that lurk kill from Issa. Why would setsN ever think that someone's lurking in that spot?
It's wild. Valday's hot right now. He is on fire. That's something I've been seeing so far from this tournament, is Valday putting up big numbers. He's kind of, it seems like he's playing more of the support role, lurky role of whatnot, but it's just really good to see him top of the scoreboard, getting the entry kills, having multi-kill rounds consistently. Because Valday, on paper, was the strongest person on this team when they first formed. Everyone thought Valday was going to be the MVP, the star, the way he played on North in the past.
Good kill to find from OG. They've disregarded a lot of the layers that have been developing in terms of what both these teams have been throwing at each other, with practically just a straight up B rush. They throw the Kerrigan smoke at the half wall to gain that ground effectively and rather safely, but that was one of the, I'd say, simpler rounds thus far. Just a flat out B rush, more or less. Good utility, of course, coming out from OG to gain that space, but it'll force Big to go for a 3 Banana approach at the beginning of this round. So this has shifted the numbers for Big. I think this is, in fact, the first round that they started 3 towards Banana, which is a little bit late in the half, but oh man. OG, they found a timing when that player rotated off.
Oh.
tabseN is still there to find 1, but can OG clear him out of that angle? Oh, what an excellent shot from MBK there. But tabseN still holds his ground, able to find 2. That might just be good enough given the fact that syrsoN finds that shot at the top of First Oranges. And oh, the upper duel in the back halls. Neither player able to connect. And it'll be down to a 2v3 situation. Montu, we're talking about this earlier in the pregame. What he's able to do from this new box position. Let's see if he's able to hold this post plant.
Yeah, he has to deliver in this kind of a position. Big waiting for the perfect moment to set up the push. There goes the smoke towards Banana. Flashbang over the top. There's the first flick missed. It has to all be connections here now for Mantu. He's got a Molotov. He's going to molly the bomb here before taking additional shots. Oh, there we go. Only the one. And looks like that spread is not going to work out enough, or it does. Oh, there's no time.
No kit.
No kit.
There's no kits, of course.
Oh, you got to get a kit.
Oh, man. They had to make some... They had to make some choices, and those choices did not include a kit as far as their economy is concerned, I suppose, and that sucks, compromising the kit.
That's Montu making the smart play, though.
Yeah.
Could have just kept going for the fight, realized that he had the Molotov. He wasn't hitting any shots. Does end up getting that one no-scope at the end, but
yeah,
it's nice to see that he's able to recover the situation in terms of at least his mind. His mechanics did not suit him very well. Unfortunately, could have gotten a highlight, but
Sometimes the best move is not to peek in a post-plant situation.
makes the wise play.
Just delay time. They have a timer. The limit. Use it to your advantage.
Oh,
yeah. And if OG can kind of...
wiry there.
Would you say a little... for you?
Uh-oh. Ooh. Keto is able to get out of that situation. Oh, The nades, oh, down to 2 HP. They're just chasing him with the nades. Very, very, very important that he survives. And he still has a flashbang too, so that's very nice. But yeah, hopefully for Mantu's sake, you know, he can just a strong victory here on OG's behalf, even if he himself wasn't hitting his shots and back in his A game. It's at least hopefully something that should assist him in feeling less pressure going into the third map if OG are able to get it there in a dominant fashion, which is shaping up to be so far. It's Big are disadvantageous in this round, disadvantaged, I should say, in this round. And so it seems likely that OG will get the 11th round on the board. We'll see what...
So Quito being super tagged has changed the format for Big. They've put him in the graveyard to try and keep him alive as much as possible and rotated system towards the B bomb site in his place. But the push is coming towards A, and there'll be a pop flash for Xantares. I was going to say, we'll talk about it later, there's 20 seconds left as they wait for this push, and he's managed to get the flash off at the very least, but the frags will go almost all the way of Big. That was a really strong play from Big. So again, I was going to say the AWP again. Late on A can sometimes creep up short to find out if they're making the right play or not, but a pop flash was enough, but Xantares couldn't stop the flash, but they could stop the players and get another round.
Yeah, it's really smart from Xantares there to actually push deeper, because when he goes to that first push with the info flash that his teammate threw for him on top mids, you know, him swinging, like him seeing nothing and communicating that, you know, he could just go back after that point after he sees nothing, but he decided to push forwards. Anyway, hold that fort because of fast aggression towards Banana will be met with violence on either side, I suppose. And look at the push coming in. Big have been really good at pushing the map when OG go Banana. Doesn't seem to ever help them though, I have to say. It never seems to be enough to have all that information, and OG are so good at finding out of these positions where they are contained. And they seem to realize this as well. Tizian may actually get flanked effectively if Issa turns around, which he might. Oh, actually maybe not in time here.
Sniper!
Oh no, Issa!
No!
I got you, bro. I got you.
Sucks.
What a teammate.
That's the worst feeling, man. That is the absolutely worst feeling.
Yikes.
That's a more painful feeling. OG with 11 down.
Indeed, indeed. 11-4 at the end of the first half of the second map in favor of OG. We'll have to see if they can close it and force it to Mirage after the break.
After the break.
Seems like everyone these days are concerned about all the bells and whistles. Whoa, slow down there, partner. This here's a place for the finer things in life, where the walls are sturdy, and when you get hit, it means something. And the only abilities we got are the ones that the big man upstairs gave us. Around these parts, we pull down and to the right, and it goes the same way, every time. Out here, we got 5v5 economy-based tactical bomb defusal gameplay, just like Mama used to make. CSGO is good old-fashioned shooting. But Mirage is bullshit.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the stream. CS Summer 6. It's the penultimate day here. We've got Big versus OG. This is the second map. We're looking at a dominant performance from OG. They're looking to force it to a third and final map here, and they are shaping up quite nicely as Big find trouble getting into the game, but perhaps the second half will be the shift that they need.
Big needs a big shift.
Eric needs a boot in his ass.
Well, we've got a big rotation towards the A bomb site. OG will fill A with 3 players. Big still have 2 with a lot of utility. 2 HE grenades on the pistol round. I am curious to see what they will do with those. Tizian and Tabster, the double T's with the HEs. I've got OG with 2 in library, which will soon be smoked off potentially.
They're going to need big pit.
There's E30 streaming in. 1 HE is gone, and there's the other one. Not sure where they went though, but what we can see is the headshots being landed by OG. They've got some utility of their own. A bomb's been lost now, and Tizian is alone. A single T versus 3 of OG, who are all on along the bomb. Alongside the bomb. Tizian now trying to get those 1 versus 1s. They're huddling together as best they can. OG being really fiddly, jerky, body. They're going to swing. Oh! Burst fire. He's actually turned it around with the ace, no less.
Ace.
That is not expected.
Wow.
That was such a bad
Wait.
situation for them, but he played it very well.
What the? What?
Yeah.
It was. I don't understand how that just happened.
They decide to push on forward. Just don't show him the respect. And he's able to capitalize. That is crazy stuff from Tizian. It's why you can't count anyone out on this big team.
Was that a 2-on-4? Something like that? Something ridiculous?
That's really bad.
Yeah,
That's really bad. OG did not need that to happen. They need nothing to go wrong this map. This needs to be just a clean win.
Yeah, that is an insane result to the pistol. I think, James, you were wondering where those nades were going. It's a pit nade stack. Big pit.
I didn't get to see them. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there was. It didn't really have any effect on the round, as we saw actually as well. NBK flirting with these players from the long side will be taken down. Surson is able to find a MAC-10 kill, and it looks like Big will be approaching this A bomb site, which has Montu and Issa both lying in wait. Issa.
Oh, did he see him?
He might have found. Yeah, I think he found some information
Yeah,
there.
he
It'll
found him.
force him to push on forward. Okay. That's a way to start things off on the A defense, but his partner in crime, Montu, can't find anything, but Issa still being a nuisance from this position at the apartments. And oh, this is going from bad to worse for Big. They're now trapped here, but Issa is being flanked by Surson. This may work out for him, but this lurk smoke is so awkward for Surson. But he does find the timing onto Issa. The flanker is now flanked. And that leaves Valde in a 1v2. Not much HP. Would love to just recover a gun. Pass that CZ onto a teammate into the upcoming round. No real hope for him here. Maybe he'll try to find some damage.
Yeah, there's no guns for him to collect here because this is the one that was picked up, obviously, by his teammate. So the others are just very deep. He might be able to find some kills here. That's what he's going to go for. Beautiful. That's actually really, really, really good from Valde. Finding that extra kill is huge. Only 1 player surviving there for Big is going to be a problem, actually, because from what we've seen of OG, they're actually fairly good at extracting value from around where they have, let's say, 5 USPs and a flashbang. So we'll see what OG can do here. But OG should be playing for 1 kill in this round. And I think 1 kill is going to be successful off of a full save. And indeed, it's going to be a full save and a flashbang. So
Yeah.
we'll see precisely what they're up to with this one.
Yeah, good luck against 4 MAC-10s here. Oh, that's meaty.
That's so rough. That's literally the worst possible thing to be up against.
A nuclear nade.
But how many MAC-10s will they keep, though? That's the question. Because their money's not very good. So it's like, they can't really... I don't think they can really afford to just throw all of them away.
They got to keep them.
They're keeping all of them.
And OG know that. Look at all the helmets coming out from the OG side. 4 helmets. Not something you usually see on the first gun round of CT side. NBK even finds the helmet himself. 5 helmets.
5.
Yeah. OG know what kind of buy they're up against, and that might stop Big in their tracks. It's going to be up to the nade work from Big now to try to enable these rushing players. Looks like it's a fast alt mid to mid, trying to take some control towards bracket. Tapson will be allotted this space, but there's NBK with his helmet, not really facing much resistance in that duel. And this is going to be a hard ask for a big here. Digs come out, but okay, Xantarez is able to get that AK involved. Now it's a 3-on-3 situation, and Montu missing that first shot as the player's getting onto the bomb site will give Big a huge opening now.
Yikes. These nades should be really good though. Yeah, beautiful nade. And the follow-up with the molly, he can do the same thing with the incendiary, clear space on the site. Obviously the T's are not on the site, maybe they'd have that information already, but they really must convert this round. It was just a bunch of MAC-10s. There's the incendiary, kind of pushes Tizian further towards the corner, but it's all going to be about Xantarez here in this pit position. Oh, Valde finds the shot into Xantarez. It's a very difficult duel to win, but Valde's good for it. But he has to be good for one more, and he's not. Tizian is going to close it down there for Big, and OG, they should not have lost that round. That could be a very bad omen for them.
Yeah, that MAC-10 long range by the graveyard position, so frustrating as a CT in that spot if you don't hit that first.
That was a
burst.
mini video game for NBK.
Yeah, it's going back and forth.
Left and right around the pillar, yeah.
Mantu had to hit at least one of those shots as well. It's again, it's another spot where like Mantu's just not finding that at least minimum kill that he needs in these situations. He had like 2 or 3 shots he got off as well, I think.
Yeah, Montu has been a consistent player, probably one of the constant win conditions for OG in the series that we've seen from them thus far. But a nice flash play late at Banana will enable Valde to find one. Quick to clean it up though is the big side, leaving just Montu at the top of first oranges. And it doesn't look like Big are too interested in actually contesting this. They'll throw some utility out to feign some presence towards that Banana position, but this is all up to NBK in the boiler room position. Deagle Blaze in hand, looking for something, but he won't be able to get anything.
Yeah, I hate to kind of always hate to sort of like highlight a player who's unable to or is unable to you know, perform as well as maybe, you know, is expected, but it's one of those things where it does. Mantu is such a consistently good player for OG, and as the AWPer as well, it does stand out if he let's say is performing in a way which goes below the expectation that he has set, and also the expectation for the positions that he's playing and what he would normally deliver from those spots. So
I think the biggest thing is we've seen him in the past hit insane shots, like consistent insane shots, and now in this series, it seems like he can't even hit the easy ones, like the easy just lineups.
yeah, we were talking about it earlier. On Dust 2, it looked like he had some of that kind of fog, like that fog that sometimes when you've had like a really bad night of sleep, and then it takes you maybe 5 hours to like actually stop playing normally, to get through that kind of brain fog, as opposed to waking up and feeling pretty good within about an hour or so. In terms of your mental clarity, that's kind of like what I'm reminded of when I see how he is aiming in certain spots versus how he normally aims.
He needs his tea
Yeah,
and biscuits.
we've all experienced the brain fog. It's not pleasant.
And his beans for breakfast. That's what you guys have, right?
Oh, the barrel spotted. That's huge info there for Sis, and he can't connect the shot, but he can certainly warn his team about it. And Mantu's just staying out there. He's got to be really careful here. MBK does actually protect him from Searson, which is huge, given that Searson was on the AWP. So I don't know how MBK found that kill, but that's a really big one. Uh-oh. Oh, again, the protection for MBK this time, but from Issa.
Yeah, good
And
procedures.
then there were
in place.
3. Big 2 rounds behind OG at present, which is getting scary for OG, bearing in mind there are a map behind at present. Playing passive on B now, as well as A. We can see them library, pit, and in front of the graveyard. So it's waiting for Big to make their play, and maybe they're making the right one. 3v2 situation on the B bomb site if they commit to this, which I imagine they will. All the utility going, and Alexi be elevated, but he'll get taken down a notch. That leaves Valde alone, and there's not going to be a flash for him for a while, but he's overperformed now, leaving Xantarez alone in a 1 versus 3.
It's a really difficult spot that Xantares finds himself in. He's got to play this absolutely perfectly. He has to try to find a spot to be aggressive to at least make a 1v2. Then he can more likely isolate the 1v1s in the 1v2. There's the first duel, and he's MBK. He's actually just completely outplays Xantares there. Beautiful peeking. Forces out a couple bullets from Xantares. Swings back into cover. Xantares is then inaccurate, and then MBK finishes the swing with a reswing to take full advantage. Really well done. And that's 12 rounds for OG now. Big R3 away, but at least OG start to stabilize once again.
Yeah, OG definitely took a hit after that pistol. Really set them back like 4 or 5 rounds in general. They pick up their first gun round in a while. Or actually the first gun round, I think.
We haven't seen, I feel like, much from Valde, but he's 23 for 13. He's by far the most standout player on the server in terms of the stats. And here he goes. He is leading the charge, leading with the confidence that he's playing with right now. That's beautiful. What a flashbang there to assist Valde getting that kill. Alexi B enabling Valde to the fullest of extent as Quito is left alive on Banana by himself without anything to work with, falling back, trying to recover the bomb. And it's looking very good here for OG. We don't often see the high progressions from them, but this time it really, truly works out well.
This really caught Big off guard. They were not ready for that second flash down mid. Okay, Tizian, though, still has an opportunity here. 1v3 situation, does not have control of the bomb. That is at T steps right now. So he'll make his way back through the apartments, and with this minute, we'll really have to check so many different angles. OG were so aggressive at the beginning of this round. It feels like to him, they could be anywhere. Little does he know that they have fallen back mostly to the bomb sites at this point. 2 players at Banana have extended on forward to try to control that space and perhaps catch him off guard. He does hear a Molotov at the bottom of mid, knows that they likely came from the Banana position, and he'll face off against his first opponent. Great off angle there from Alexi B on top of the logs. Will close things out, but that was just such a nice little curveball play coming out from OG. Like you said, Dan, we really don't see them go for those hyper-aggressive plays and moves too often. But you can see that even when they do, they have the nade protocols in place in order to protect that player making such an advance.
Yeah, and it's so cool because Alexi B's flash went so deep. It was specifically designed to pop flash any players on T ramp. And so it ignores anyone who's playing on Banana in that sense. And that's precisely the way it needs to be. So great stuff, as you say, from them. 13-9 now as OG are looking to erase the remaining money from the big bank account as they spent all of the cash to try to find a victory in this round. So this is a huge round because OG should be able to convert to 15 if they win this one. Top mid's been taken. Not much action on Banana for Big, but they do have control of it. And OG are playing very passive in this round. That makes me quite afraid for them, actually. We'll see if they can do it.
See Alexi B moving to Speedway to spot long, as indeed they're playing a crossfire on the site, and that Molotov will be quite telling. It looks like they're going to kind of go for a retake of top mid, which would be very bizarre. Look at the multi-man swing. This is completely ridiculous. NBK and Man2 with a retake. They kind of gave up and just took them completely off guard. Seriously
Wow.
caught with a grenade in his hand. When do you see a play like that from the CTs?
The delay retake mid is so good because as Dan's kind of mentioned, they're playing passive, a little worried, and if they stayed playing passive, they allow Big to get in position and set up, and this prevents them from getting set up. What a great mid flash and take from OG.
That's so awesome. Yeah, we talked about that before. It's one of those things where the T side is like, oh wow, we're going to get all this space, cool, we can start setting up, we're going to attack the bomb site, we're in the mind of the set piece, and then boom, out of nowhere. And let's think about it too. What happens if OG go and for that play on top mid and there's nobody there? Well, they're still coming out ahead because they have the information and the T play still is yet to hit a site. So it's pretty foolproof in that sense.
Yeah. Adding on to the foolproofness of the play, they throw a Molotov deep at porch to start things off so that those players that are aggressing at the porch position, they can't be swung on. No one's going to just find them as they're setting up for that play. And then just, like you mentioned, perfect pop flash gets them into that bracket, swinging out with full confidence, taking down all of Big. Such a nice play from OG. They have a couple of those nice playbacks, but we'll see if there's any opportunity for such... Oh, okay.
Oh
well,
my God.
actually, Keto snuck himself into CT here. OG seems ready for this, though. They know. That is an excellent read from them. Wow, Alexi B and Valde, they just give up that entire B bomb site to stop that CT approach. It just leaves Tizian, but there's nothing for him to do at that point. OG know exactly where he is. Just, they're moving across the map in a way that is giving probably their fans and themselves a lot of hope as they hope to find themselves on a map 3.
It's a great comms there, I think, from OG. Because as you
Yes.
say, like the B rotation players were absolutely ready. And the players on the A side were getting attacked at the same time. So it's like they have their own stuff they're dealing with, but they still conveyed the information to their team. I didn't expect OG to look so good here, actually, against Big.
Yeah, by the way they're looking at Dust 2, you thought Big might just squeeze in a quick 2-0. But OG showing some signs of life, never to count them out. All their series have been scrappy for the most part. They stick to you like glue.
Keto looking for a headshot, gets denied. OG in such a good spot here. Way better firepower, utility, and of course they have all of this success behind them as well, so they're feeling good. Their communication and team play is absolutely on point from what we have seen. They look like they've been in control the entire time. Even in rounds where they go passive, and even commit to being passive, it still feels like they're doing it with a lot of control. And Big are the ones that look sort of out of sorts to a degree as they try to find a way to solve this. But of course, it's come down to this. 9-15, OG on that point. We'll see if they can take it in this round as they defend very effectively there. MBK, he's been brilliant so far, and he's looking to finish it off. Final peak comes in. Citizen, though, he's not done. He's not down or out just yet. Still with the AWP in his hands. No teammates left to play off of. Just himself and the AWP. And maybe that's all he needs, because the clock comes out to finish off one more. Now 1 versus 2 here as Citizen looks to go for the clutch here. It's going to have to be the ace clutch as he looks for the next play. He hears the sound cues. He knows where one of the 2 players is, but Valde, the unknown player, comes from behind him from the shadows to claim the map. OG 16-9. That will bring us to a third and final map between these 2 teams, and that map is going to be Mirage.
I mean, what a turnaround. If OG didn't kind of mess up on their pistol, it could have been a 16-4, 16-5 kind of win for OG. So almost a complete reversal from what we saw in Dust 2.
Yeah, this is shaping up exactly how it did the last time these 2 teams faced off. It went to 3 maps. OG were able to win it there.
Uh-oh.
Right, so there's more to discuss as we go into that third and final map. Can't wait. We'll see you guys after a short break.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
All young men with suits and ties, just sitting in the crowd smoking big cigars. I hope you're ready for what's coming now. I'm the one on the lady that would bring you down.
And then after that, it kind of goes downhill.
We were just talking about when George R.R. Martin is going to actually give us a new Game of Thrones books. I know it's a bit of a...
Books.
Well, not really
Back to
related.
Books.
Yeah, back to the books. I know we got told, we were talking about books yesterday, we got told off for that. We're not allowed to talk about books anymore. Apparently, it's not cool to be learned individuals, but regardless, we have some learned individuals playing some Counter-Strike on the server here. We're going to map 3. Mirage is going to be, it should be a slobber knocker, because it does definitely play into both teams' skill sets. And perhaps before we talk about Mirage, as we have the Inferno highlights, let's, what are your guys' summaries of Inferno?
I think it looked like OG was in pace for the entire map, unlike Dust 2, where OG was maybe on pace for the first 6 rounds, and then they just kind of fell off. Big couldn't really find their holding on their CT side, which is, you have to have at least, 8 rounds on the CT side on this map to really be competitive. But other than that, OG, they just look good. They look good in everything they did. They look confident. They had CT setups. They had T setups. They know how to work the map, the banana, get set up in halls. They pretty much did everything right that you're supposed to do.
I think something that is consistent now with all top 3 teams at CS Summit, Big, OG, and Vitality, is that they can play a variety of styles round to round, and that their game plan isn't always completely apparent. Some of them focus on key things on their T sides in terms of what bomb site they like to hit more. For example, Big sometimes likes to key in on one site over another if they feel like there's a weak point. But both of these teams, OG showing us there, have shown top to bottom that they have it all fleshed out. They aren't these newer stage teams that have a one-dimensional approach that involves a lot of set pieces or a lot of defaults. They have both. They have set pieces and defaults. They have ways to react on CT side, whether it's an early round play, a mid-round play, and they even know how to play retake on top of that. It feels like all of these teams in the server right now and at this tournament left are so experienced that you can't really just pinpoint one thing that they do very well. It's a lot of things that they do very well, and they do very little badly. The things that they do badly will mostly be more so in the micro instance. For example, allowing Tizian to win a 1v3 with a Glock by just pushing him kind of together, but kind of not together. Yeah, little things like that can always go badly for teams like at this level. But OG are showing why they made it this far at this tournament. That they do have the full playbook, that they aren't just a one-trick pony. Yeah,
they've gone strength to strength in many series too. We saw, of course, like the whole Overpass story as well. And just to recount that for those of you that are tuned in but didn't follow all of the tournaments so far, we had a situation where we saw OG playing against North in this best of 3. North picked Overpass. We expected North to win the Overpass and so on, and they kind of did. They crushed OG. OG looked really one-dimensional. I think that was the way that you put it, Alex, on Overpass. But then it got turned around within 24 hours, because then when OG played a series against Vitality, they took Vitality, who is a very strong Overpass team, to multiple overtimes, and Zai was playing really well for the majority of that match. And so we were like, hang on, what? Wait, so when they got crushed by North, what was that? What was that about? And then we go to the next Overpass, and we're still thinking about that North game. And OG crush it. I forget, were they playing Fnatic? I think it was Fnatic. I forget who it was now at this point. But they played another Overpass game, and we spoke to Alexi B because they looked amazing on Overpass again. And we're like, okay, well, what's going on here? And then Alexi B was like, well, after that North game, we basically just. That was literally all we were thinking about was Overpass, how to fix the Overpass game. And within 2 days, within 1 day, he turned it around massively. Yeah. So that's super impressive that they did that.
It really is. And I think one player that's going to have to turn things around from earlier in the tournament is Surson. Because last time these two teams faced up, he, in map 3, did not have a great time.
That's true.
OG were really able to prevent the Star Opera from Big in getting involved, especially on the CT side. It felt like he just couldn't find any looks. So if OG are able to do that again, this could bode very well for them, and they may be actually able to close out this series. But Surson, he's going to have to make that fix. The same thing that OG did earlier in this tournament. He's going to have to bring it together. He's going to have to figure out what was going wrong for him that last time around. I'm sure with how much Big have been preparing throughout this tournament that they have figured out some of the problems. But if OG are able to shut Surson out, shut ZywOo out, they might just be able to shut Surson out once again.
So one thing worth mentioning is that last time we saw this match, what happened was we saw that OG went for a lot of contacts plays on A, and they did that very specifically. So it does make me wonder if we'll see a very specific game plan again. And that was part of the reason why Citizen didn't get a look into this one. But here we go.
How about you, James? We haven't heard from you in a while.
I think that Maui Snake raised some very good points, and I do have concerns regarding my pick of Big going into Mirage. I think that OG have a lot of potential to take Mirage. I think that Mantu is going to have a better performance. I think that, you know, again, it was a bit dodgy on Dust 2, but those times have come and gone. There'll be a knife to decide who plays on what side, of course, so we'll observe the knife first.
What knife
but,
you using?
yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stick with my pick, but I really, I think this is kind of wide open. That's how I feel. It was a great CT side, very enjoyable to watch as well from OG on Inferno, and I think we're in for an exciting game of Mirage.
Yeah, yesterday we saw a big play Vitality, and Mirage was one of the maps that they played against one another. I think it was the first map actually of the series, and what we saw from Vitality was a more consistent, better overall kind of macro approach to the game. But in a lot of the micro situations, we saw huge performances from the individuals on Big that really created a lot of problems. But Vitality were even keel and just sort of were pulled through it, just dealt with it as it happened. But it was Big threatening to win that game just off of the individuals alone.
Yes.
So that I do wonder if we'll see something similar here as we go into the third and final map between Big and OG. As mentioned, OG on the T side, Big on the CT side. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah. Let's hope for it. Last time it went down to the wire, 30-round affair between both of these teams when they faced up on Mirage just about a week ago. Hopefully we get something similar.
It's Easter and XCB grenade men for OG. To have some spots of some players in mid, and he will choose to fall back. It is a charge from OG, a boost perhaps on short over the smoke. Santaro sees one going towards the window, who he looks for, but they went when the Jules Big. Starting on the back foot, Sis is going to get taken down at very close range, leaving Tizian as the last man to fall. Well, that is the pistol rounds. Brutality from OG. They start on the right foot.
Yeah, this is a great start from OG on the T side, and it kind of sucks for Big because what it does is it creates, it allows OG to get to their game plan a lot quicker than if they don't win the pistol. And the only way that would not be the case right now is if OG lose to the Force Buy, which is obviously Big's Force Buy this round. So as long as OG can circumvent this Force Buy, I think they're going to be looking good for a 5-0 start.
Surson aggressively posturing towards middle, unable to find the shot though. And OG are going with a slightly more passive default to kick things off. 1-2-2 default from them versus the 2-1-2 of OG more or less, or of Big, sorry. And the late smokes towards window will come out, blocking Surson off of his angle. And he's a player that needs to get involved for Big early on. The last time they faced off, it was a 30-round affair, and Surson was at the very bottom of the scoreboard, whereas Montu was at the very top. Today, it seems like that would have switched. Surson is performing quite well, and Montu is having a difficult time in this series. But you throw it all out the window when it gets to map 3, when experience is tested, when mental fortitude is put to the test. OG are looking very solid in this round here. Not taking too much damage yet. They are walking into 2 players at this B site as they try to split it now. Surson with the scout. We'll see them approaching. He's able to find a tag, looking for more. He's able to get one before being quickly traded. Now Xantarez here with the deagle. Oh, what a shot from MTK to take him out. And this is looking really good for OG on the anti-eco, anti-force.
That said, Quito will walk from catwalk here, and he's looking for that quick one-shot kill, but he'll get denied. Mantu with the headshot. And Mantu, I wonder if we'll see live from him in this third map. Again, last map, it didn't really seem to be about Mantu at all. He did the absolute basics. He's definitely in his C game in the last couple maps. Like if we're looking at the CBA game, he's definitely in the C game. So he was there, he was doing some stuff, but he wasn't taking over the game by any stretch of the imagination. It would be great to see if that would change on a map like Mirage, where the AWPers have so many different looks that are possible for them. So as we go into this eco rounds, we shouldn't really see anything too untoward. Big have only invested a single flashbang, so presumably It's going to be a retake flash for mid, so they can swim with this, and there they go. And well, this one good for a kill at least, I suppose. That's something.
OG really showed that they know their opponents in this round. They took some early space away from Big, but Big always makes some kind of play on these rounds, some kind of concerted team effort, and OG just held their ground. They didn't force the issue off of that mid control. They just hung out around the chair position, top mid, a couple players, and they knew that Big would likely just run right into them, especially if they're continuing to make noise as if they are scaling down. And I mean, it's an anti-USP round, so let's not read too much into it, I suppose, but it shows that OG are at least prepared for their opponent in this one.
Oh, it's first buy round for both squads. And one big question, no pun intended, is how Searson uses the AWP on the CT side. Currently around the A bomb site, Keto getting started over the smoke. Very nice way to start things off. You can see Searson hunting now in that connector position as OG taking a larger focus towards the B halls. Issa showing some presence in mid. He'll keep players entertained as OG make inroads towards B.
Looking for that contact play. It's all about the element of surprise. And with Tizian on the sides by himself, no utility at all to slow things down and no assistance anywhere nearby, this is the absolute best possible place for OG to hit. Now, Tizian needs a huge performance here. He has to get it done off of the initial shots. And, oh god, LXCB takes him down immediately. And LXCB knows exactly how to clear those positions, and he's going to do an excellent job with that MAC-10. That might shut out Big from this round. We'll have to see how much they want to commit into this. They don't have any money. If they save these 3 guns, they can buy in the next rounds. But now they've lost a player. They can still drop for a couple of teammates in the next rounds, but one player will be without a weapon. Now it gets to a point where it's just Searson and never mind. Never mind.
And he's dead.
Very well done by OG to hunt down all those guns. It's huge, huge, huge.
So I wonder if OG is trying to condition Big by hitting that B bomb site. Like, hey, look, we changed our game plan a little bit. Maybe you have to sack towards B, and that's when they hit A? Or is OG going to just kind of, you know, maybe feel it out, keep doing their A thing that we saw last time?
Yeah.
Well, I felt like it was an instant response to taking out the short player there. They
Definitely.
maybe banked on a lack of rotation from Big, which was really awesome. So we'll see how they play on that next time if it happens again.
OG have now gotten off to 5 hot starts in, or I mean, not 5. 3 hot starts. I don't know. I guess I was considering halves in it. Yeah, but in every map they've gotten off to a hot start.
Yeah, their pistol round is usually very good, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
They're one of those teams that just
timing.
wins the pistols.
Yeah, they're really on top of it. Gotta give credit to LXCB for some of his pistol round strategies too, because they're pretty complex at times. All the moving pieces and how they're able to come together. He makes those macro movements on pistol rounds look quite good with his teams. He's been doing that for quite a while now, especially on ends. tabseN, though, has a deagle. That means there's always a chance for Big. And he's able to find 2. Okay, 2-on-2 situation now, playing around triple. Do they know that Searson's in place? He did just shoot that P250. Flashing on forward is OG. These are excellent flashes to gain some space, but they aren't able to find kills. And tabseN, still from the triples position, is able to find yet another, leaving it down to a 1v1 between Montu and Searsson, the opposing oppers. But Montu is playing around the smoke, trying to find an angle. It's only 25 seconds. He doesn't have time to run away. He has to take this fight to Searsson. And who will get the better of whom now? And oh, wow, Big stealing one there off the back of an excellent round from tabseN.
Mantu that looked like he was trying to play against 5 spots at once. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to like having a good guess and committing to the guess and then reacting. Kind of looked like he was dancing between a lot of different spots here. You might be able to see on this replay. It kind of looks like he has no idea at all where to look. And Searson takes him down. I was really hoping Mantu would have a good clutch there, and for his sake. But really important round for Big to win, but only surviving with 1 player certainly leaves them in a weakened position, economically speaking, as OG look to try to put the pressure on this mid area. LXCB will progress forwards under the cover of his teammates' weapons. those AKs, the AWP of Man2, and Alexi B meanwhile as well taking control towards Connector. As Searson peels away one. Oh, Tabson! He's done a lot of damage there. Oof, this is a hard recovery. Oh, that's such a crucial frag from Valde. That will allow a chance here for OG.
Unexpected miss from Searson there. We've got some safe positions being held for the retake by Big in CT spawn. And Valde will create a wall. He might be able to hop up on the box and use that as a one-way. Indeed, that is the plan. Seen this from Apex before in a similar fashion many moons ago. And the CTs should be able to read that. Indeed, Keto will have a superior angle, which leaves Man2 now in a 1 versus 3. Make it 2 as Keto as they're eliminated. The CTs are on the site already. That's such a fast one from him. But now he's really got to commit to this because the bomb is being defused. The smoke is up and he's got no idea.
That's a nice
We'll
try.
go to Big, but that was pretty crazy.
It's unfortunate that OG had to put the plant behind or at the default safe spot in that situation. Valde did have a smoke, and I wish he put the bomb down in the reverse default, if anything. But, you know, that's just splitting hairs at that point.
It was really good damage for OG regardless, because Man2 was able to kind of peel away a couple players right at the end. So it does put OG in a spot where they can reset Big completely, force them to eco next round if they win this round. But obviously that's a pretty big... There's no small feat, and look at this aggression from Tizian. He's got so much info with this push. They're going to realize that it's going to be an A push, and they're going to rotate everybody for this. OG are certainly going to... This should, in theory, be a huge struggle for them with the info that Big has.